course you're in a physical game, but it's a head game. It's a vibration game. It's a vibration game. It's a vibration game. It's an alignment game. Alignment trumps everything. So often there are things that you don't want to give up. I don't want to give that up. We say, if we were standing in your physical shoes, we would be willing to give up everything but alignment. Because in alignment, everything that you want must be yours. In alignment, you find the receptive mode. And when you find the receptive mode, then you are tuned in, tapped in, turned on. Then you're in the right place at the right time. Then amazing things happen, and the universe demonstrates to you over and over and over and over and over again how blessed you are, how loved you are, how aware of you we all are, you see. Until big things and small things, things that you would say don't amount to very much, demonstrate to you your constant worthiness. The other day, Esther was walking with a friend around the loop where she lives in Del Mar. And they're walking around the loop, and they came to this house, and it had a for sale sign on it. And Esther said, I know the people who were renting this house, really cute young couple. She said, one day, Jerry and I came around the corner, and here is this young man on some sort of weird bicycle contraption. It didn't have normal pedals. It was like a different kind of pumping action. And he was pushing it up the hill rather than riding it up the hill. And Jerry said to him, pretty steep hill, isn't it? And he said, no, it's not that. My wife gave it to me for my birthday today. And they put it together in the shop. And then they had to disengage something in order to get it in her car. But she didn't realize that they disengaged something, and so I had no brakes. And Jerry and Esther said, oh. So they visited a little while, really enjoyed these really beautiful people, and off they went. That was about 5 years ago. So Esther has not seen them. She has not been there much. She's not seen them. She's not even thought about them in all of this time. Until this day, 2 days ago, she's walking with Julie around the loop, and they see this house is for sale. So Esther tells that story. Then they finish their walk, get in the car, go to Roberto's for lunch, and on the way is that kid on that machine in a whole other part of the town. Esther said, law of attraction is my freaky friend. And we said, alignment is your freaky friend. In other words, when you are tuned in, when your resistance is non-existent, then everything that is important to you, big or small, demonstrates itself to you, because everything is known about everything. And when you are emitting a vibration, you are sending out a signal that is calling something back. It's what law of attraction is. That which is likened to itself is drawn. So one might worry that, well, if law of attraction is on all things big and small, am I not going to be inundated by data? And we say, yes, you are. You are inundated by data all day, every day, that represents the balance of the vibration that you put out. Everything that you are feeling is an indicator of everything that you are thinking. So what is a thought anyway? We want you beautiful manifested beings sitting as clumps on these chairs. We want you to understand your vibrational nature. We want you to understand the nature of this vibrational universe. We want you to understand that a vibration is a vibration, is a vibration, is a vibration, is a vibration. You know that story that you've been telling for so long? If a tree falls in the forest and there's no one there to hear it, does it make a sound? The answer is unequivocally no. It does not make a sound, because sound is the byproduct of the translation of the vibration by a receiving mechanism. It takes a focuser, it takes an eardrum, it takes something to turn that sound into something that can be received. Are you sort of kind of getting that? So there are vibrations all around you, and you have practiced yourself into being the receiver of them. We just want you to practice yourself into being the receiver of the ones that feel good, not the ones that feel bad, not all the ones, which means we want you to no longer be conditional focusers. You see something that feels good, you look at it. You see something that feels bad, you look at it. Not much discriminating. We want you to be so discriminating that you pull your attention at the earliest, most subtle stage that you can find, away from those things that don't feel good. We want you to tune yourself to this high frequency of who you are. So this is the big picture. You were source energy before you came into this physical body, and splat, now you're here. But the larger part of you is still non-physical, and still that pure positive energy, still in that place of non-resistance. So here you are, just like you planned, exploring contrast. That's a good thing, because if you don't know what you don't want, you cannot know what you do want. You must have that focusing experience in order to define and decide what you want. So at all levels of your being, you're launching these rockets. The cells of your body are also launching rockets. You're launching rockets of desire. You're launching rockets. Rockets. You're launching rockets of evolution and expansion. And the source within you is becoming. And now you have two vibrational points of view. The vibrational point of view of who you really are, and the law of attraction path that is being drawn to that powerful point of attraction. And then there's you and what you're thinking. So who you really are is unconditional, meaning who you really are will never look at a condition and try to fix it and use it as an excuse to disconnect from true path. And when you do, you get crossways of your energy. So here's this source energy part of you, calling all things that you are asking for to that you, and calling this physical you to that you, calling you into alignment with who you are. And when you are not fixated on something that you're pushing against, you find that vibrational path easily, and you feel that flow and that ease, where as soon as you think about something, it begins to manifest. So here's the part you might not know, because we've told you all those other parts many times. This is the piece you might not know. So there is this vibration. Could be not perceivable. Could be trees falling all over in the forest and no eardrums there to interpret the vibration into what you call sound. So here's this vibration. But as that vibration evolves, as it gains momentum, it becomes more noticeable to those who are on the wavelength of it. So then, the first manifestation, let's call it a manifestation, the first you turning a thought to a thing, the first manifestation of this vibration is a thought occurs to you, and an emotion is so close on the heels of it, you can't tell which came first, the emotion or the thought. But there they are. An emotion within you that is a manifestation of that vibration. And now you're rocking and rolling. Now you are on the path. Now you are in the perceptive mode. So here's this thought. Let's call it your path. And here you are with this thought on this path. Now, if you don't do anything to divert your path, if you don't contradict it, if you don't say, yeah, but, if you don't say, oh, that's a really good idea, but I could never do it, or oh, that's a really good idea, but I've tried that before and it didn't work. If you don't take that path and divert it, the momentum of that path is going to increase. And as the momentum of that path increases, now your ability to perceive even more is going to happen. So now it's not just a thought and a feeling. Now you're beginning to rendezvous with blue bicycle contraptions in places. In other words, now manifestations are happening that are evidence to you of your path. Hear it. You're not diluted path. You're not convoluted path. You're not contradicted path. You're not shooting myself in the foot path. You're not defensive path. You're not justifying path. You're not rationalizing path. Just a pure thought that is not contested with a belief that you've practiced. So what are you going to do? You have a lot of beliefs. You have a lot of beliefs that do not serve you. And the reason we know that is because you have a lot of desires that have not manifested fully. They get to the idea phase, and then you kill them with contradictory thought that doesn't feel good when you think it. It doesn't feel good when you think it. So what most of you do, even though it didn't feel good when you thought it, because you weren't seeking alignment with source, because you didn't understand all that it meant. You weren't seeking alignment with your own inner being or alignment with your own desires. You sought alignment with somebody else's opinion. And they have so many differing opinions. We don't know how. You just don't go out of your mind as you talk to so many people about so many things, as you convince yourselves why you can't do this and why you can't do this, or why they shouldn't do that and why they shouldn't do that. What we want you to understand is that if you could leave the peanut gallery out of everything that matters to you and not dilute or divert your path, that momentum from a vibration to a thought, to an idea, to an emotion, to a rendezvous, to full manifestation would happen with you all day, every day, on everything that matters to you, on everything that matters to you. And if it's not happening, it's for one reason and one reason only. You're introducing contradiction to your vibrational equation. And it's all right. Everybody does it. You just don't want to do it so much that you feel negative emotion about it. When you feel negative emotion about it, that's your clue to do something different. So here's an example. So let's say that you have a very clear sense of how you want to feel today. So you go over to someone's house. Maybe you're related to them. And they're having a no good, very bad day. And so you sit in the middle of it and you listen to them squabbling and you watch a sort of escalation of it. Maybe they're children, maybe it's adults and children, a mixture of some sort of people in disagreement with each other about something. So now, if you have been following your path of least resistance for a while and you are tuned in, tapped in, turned on, now you are in a position where you can experience and live and feel the joyful experience of living unconditional love, because you are so in alignment with who you are. You've practiced it so well. Your vibration is so strong that even though this is going on, it's not ringing your bells. It's not hooking you in. You're not feeling any defensiveness. You don't feel like helping the victim in the scenario. You don't feel like piling on to the one that's being picked on. In other words, you are vibrationally aloof from it. There's no hook for you in this situation. So you can sit there, you can be there, you can be unconditional. Here's a condition that is happening that's making all of them nuts, and it's not making you nuts because you are in a different vibrational place. It's not threatening you. You don't feel defensive about it. You don't feel like you need to defend anybody else about it. You are tuned in, tapped in, turned on. You've been down that road so many times. You have found your place in it, and you're sitting there, and you may be the only one at that party having a good time, but you are, and what's going on doesn't matter. Or you haven't practiced your path of least resistance all that much. You're wobbly in your vibration. You know what you want, and you know what you don't want, and all of it's sort of active. And so you sort of blunder into this experience, and they're not getting along, and you notice it, and you're annoyed by it, and then you're trying to pick a side, and you really think that that was unnecessary. You really didn't need to say that. No, this is going to get a lot worse before it gets better. And so you sit there, and you're sort of gritting your teeth, and you're trying to ignore it, but you really can't. And now they're looking at you like, what do you think about this? And you're looking away, and they're thinking, well, why are you looking away? And you're thinking, well, I'm looking away because you're all making me nuts, and I don't really like being here, and I'm all out of whack. And then you finally do leave. You finally do leave. You finally, now this is the part we want you to hear. You finally do stumble on to your path of least resistance, but not until you have suffered mightily. So you go off on your path, and then you spend the next 2 or 3 days justifying why you left. Now the phone calls come. Why'd you leave? Really don't want to talk about it. No, really, why'd you leave? Really, I don't want to talk about it. Tell me why you left. I don't want to talk about it. You were mad at me, weren't you? You left because you were mad at me. No, it wasn't that. Why did you leave then? Tell me why you left. And so what we're saying to you, if you can find your path in the early subtle stages, you will ride out any storm, and eventually you will find fewer and fewer and fewer and fewer and fewer storms. We really want you to understand that it's not only all right, It's what you intended to